I want to follow up a little bit about the accused criminals who participated in rioting, destruction of property, sometimes violence against individuals on January 6, 2021, colloquially known as the Trump riots. The rioters were overwhelmingly from a political movement that claims to be about the rule of law and following the rules and doing what the law prescribes. And yet they broke the law. They broke the law by trespassing. They broke the law with vandalism and entering the Capitol building. They broke the law in some cases by attacking police officers. They broke the law in some cases by stealing things from the Capitol. Some of them also destroyed the property of media outlets outside the Capitol. They broke the law in many different ways. But once you are accused of breaking the law, they believe in due process. And of course, due process includes both sides of it. It includes due process by those prosecuting you and law enforcement. But it also includes facing the charges against you and fighting them as you are able to do and given a right to do with appropriate counsel through the judicial system. But they're not all doing that either. After allegedly breaking the law on January 6th, at least one individual has fled the country and is now desperately asking Belarus, an authoritarian state at this point in its own right, for asylum, for cover, in order to avoid facing charges here in the United States. This is an extraordinary story. A guy named Evan Neumann from California has started to plead with Belarus on Belarusian state TV to let him avoid justice here in the United States. This is wild, and we're going to look at a video of this. Evan Neumann is wanted in the U.S. on 6 criminal charges related to the attempted insurrection on January 6th, including 2 felonies for assaulting an officer. Now, remember, the right claims to be about support the police, law and order, due process. So, guy is accused of assaulting officers. The right should be saying, oh, this guy's got to be held accountable. This guy is now trying to avoid even facing justice. Wait, that's not law and order. He was featured in the Belarusian state TV special Goodbye America. He recounted a treacherous journey through forested borderlands that landed him in Minsk and expressed his unwillingness to face justice in the U.S. Neumann says he's seeking political asylum in Belarus because the U.S., in his opinion, is no longer a country of law and order. Think about that. Think about that for a second. They say they are about law and order. They then break the law and say, I'm going to flee justice because my prosecution is no longer law and order. What? This is another example of these are our principles and they are so important until they're no longer convenient for us. Check out this video. This video is from, I believe, I-24 News. And this special where Evan Neumann is pleading for asylum in Belarus to avoid justice, it's obviously not in English. So this is sort of like a dubbed. It'll give you a sense of what's going on. Let's take a look.
For America's critics, the January 6th riot at the US Capitol was already a propaganda coup, casting the nation as chaotic and violent. But the bizarre appearance of Evan Neumann, an accused Capitol rioter from California seeking asylum in Belarus,
right,
one of the world's most authoritarian dictatorships, was more than the regime here could have hoped for.
Специальный репортаж агентства теленовостей «Goodbye, America». Смотрите прямо сейчас.
This is their heavily promoted news special, dubbed Goodbye, America, on Belarusian state TV.
By the way, it's also funny how these very same law and order people who broke the law allegedly and then are fleeing justice, they also claim to be all about America, except they seem to not understand their role in furthering anti-American propaganda by showing up in Belarus and demanding asylum to avoid actually facing justice in the United States.
The US is now settling scores, the anchor says, with opponents of the US regime.
Playing right into it.
Neumann had to flee the country or face prison and torture for simply taking part in protests, she falsely claims. We're then shown Neumann himself being interviewed about how he got here, apparently by crossing the border illegally through snake-infested swamps.
By the way, they also say you got to come in legally, but he has abandoned that principle and crossed into Belarus illegally, but says it's justified because the law and order charges against him he feels are bogus.
And of course, why he came. He speaks English, but is voiced over in Russian, so it's hard to hear his actual words.
They released a picture of me.
He says his photo was put on an FBI wanted list. That's true, but his next claim isn't.
What happened to other people there?
What do you think they do with people like me, he asks. They're kept in solitary confinement for 8 months at a time and beaten. Torture is a common thing, he explains to the Belarusian reporter. Torture is, of course, illegal in the United States. What is true is that Neumann faces multiple criminal charges in the US for his alleged role in the January 6th insurrection. Prosecutors say he taunted and screamed at police before donning a gas mask and threatening officers. According to court papers, police body camera footage showed Neumann pushing a metal barricade into a police line before punching 2 officers with his fist.
I didn't decide to...
He doesn't even deny taking part.
And we were invited to come in. But we were there because...
All right. It's just absolutely disgusting. So listen, another one of these examples, every principle is abandoned. Immigration must be legal. Goes illegally to Belarus. Law and order must be followed. Commits alleged crimes, which are on video, on January 6th. We must face justice and due process and all of this different stuff. Flees as a fugitive to a different country. All of these principles mean nothing to them. They mean nothing when the rubber hits the road, and this is just another example. One of our sponsors is CuriosityStream, the only subscription streaming service that specializes in documentaries. I watch CuriosityStream on my TV, phone, and computer. CuriosityStream always has so many titles I can't find on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon. A much better selection of documentaries than any of those platforms. Documentaries on science, nature, history, politics, tech, music, psychology. I just finished watching Man's First Friend. Tremendous film about dogs, or dogs, as some say. If you love documentaries and learning, CuriosityStream is something you must have. They always have the newest, most critically acclaimed titles. And CuriosityStream is giving my audience, that's you, 25% off a subscription, which comes out to just $15 a year. Go to curiositystream.com/Pacman. The link is down below.